a very good afternoon, good morning, or even good evening. This is the Systemic Diversity and Inclusion Group on Tuesday, the 4th of April, 2023. Coming from Maryland, Washington State, London, and Kakuma in Kenya. Today we have a one-to-one. Dr. Joseph Nwoye, the President of Systemic Diversity and Inclusion Group, in conversation with the CEO of Action for Refugee Life, Mr. Kiza Mauridi, who is part of a team in one of the most vibrant and challenging environments on the continent of Africa, with the most remarkable team of people, creating an environment that will be difficult to copy anyplace else. The history of Kakuma is both inspiring and difficult. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome our current audience and on-demand audience, if you are watching on YouTube later. My pleasure to welcome the President of SDIG, Dr. Joseph Nwoye, and his guest, the CEO of Action for Refugee Life in Kakuma, Kenya, Mr. Kiza Mauridi. Dr. Nwoye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adam. Kiza Mauridi, it's a pleasure to have you here today. You have gone from unimaginable situation to becoming an extraordinary individual. An individual who not only look at himself, but he looks at others who had been subjected to the same situation. And I know that that's the inspiration that inspires you to do what you do. I want to tell you that I'm so proud of you and certainly urge you to continue to play those roles. Now, first, I want to state what SDIG stands for. SDIG is an international organization that is considered as a non-profit organization, and we operate on the basis to, we provide safe environment and open and inclusive engagement and awareness generation space, just as the one we are having today. We foster individuals and group learning through our posts, shared members' stories, hosted webinars, discussions on local and global events. And through those, we help organizations shape policies, inform the uninformed, just as we're gonna be doing today. So we are a holistic organization. We give voice to voiceless. In fact, we are founded on the basis of providing voice for the voiceless. And that's fitting here to welcome you. As we explore and share multiple experiences stemming from our sharing varied experiences, we enrich one another and inform each other on issues of our time. Kiza, I would like you to take 3 to 7 minutes and tell the world who you are, what you've gone through, what inspires you, and above all, where do you want us to go from here?
Yeah, thank you so much for the chance. Thank you so much for the organizers of this event. Much appreciation to SDIG for this moment that they have granted me to share about my experiences and also what I'm envisioning for the field of refugees. Yeah, as my name goes, I'm Kiza Mauridi, the founder and CEO of Action for Refugee Life, and I'm residing in Kenya in a camp called Kakuma Refugee Camp. I have lived as a refugee for the last 26 years. So I've grown in the camp and to the age I am today since I was 3 years old when I first entered into a camp called Lugufu Camp in Tanzania. And then due to a repatriation that I made to the country and found the country not stable at all in terms of peace, I had to return again in the camps because that is the only dwelling that I feel a little bit comfortable and peaceful. And sharing a bit about my refugee life experience that has lasted for the last 26 years. We are still struggling for the hardship and the quality education. And this is exactly inspired me to start an organization called Action for Refugee Life. Exactly what can really be done to improve the living standard of these refugees. And if I go back to when the camps were first established, wasn't actually to stay for quite a long period as it is today. But we've known the camp like the Kakuma refugee camp as the video has gone, stated that the Kakuma refugee camp has existed since 1992. It is nearly 30 years now. But when we are talking about the Kakuma, the refugee camps being a transient settlement, I think the present picture proves us something inaccurate because we've had generation has been born in the camp. And if things are not tackled accordingly, and then we will be spoiling the generation that we are bringing up in the camps years and years that are to come. Therefore, this is exactly what has brought me to a point where I needed to start an initiative that I will call the world to see how the life of refugees who are living without a future hope can be improved.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kiza. Can you touch on how this goal aligns, that the goal of your organization aligns with what we do at SDIG?
I want to believe that SDIG, they are working towards the inclusion and the diversity. And what has really made the refugees still getting so much behind in terms of their education quality and even the financial stability, it is because of not being included in the world agenda, because we are witnessing different countries taking the steps forward in improving their government systems, their education system, their economic systems, but it hasn't touched yet the refugee setup. And this is exactly what SDIG is working towards, and is exactly what Action for Refugee Life is working towards. Can we have refugees included in the global agenda? And that's what touches inclusions, can also be a part of the world diversity, where when an opportunity is given, refugees are also included. When there is a talk about different dynamics of human life, we also bring in refugees so that we see how refugees can also cope up with the present challenges. I think that's exactly the goal that brings us in common with SDIG.
Thank you, Kiza. And as you know, in every situation, there are always debate whether or not we should do X or Y. And sometimes some people concoct false news that don't represent reality of people, what people actually see. And I know that you've seen so much, and you can be the voice of the voiceless, especially those whose voices will never be heard. But looking at the fact that the debate of whether it is or it's not continues, former United States Senator of New York, Patrick Moynihan, once said that everyone is entitled to his or her opinion, but not his or her own fact. And the fact remains that 185,000 people have been in a very desperate situation. And as we look at the global diversity, I might even add that no one is completely free until all humanities are free. So from that vantage standpoint, how would you articulate that these are reality and sustain that articulation until the global community hears you?
I think that's exactly the truth. That we are in the world where freedom of expressions is experienced, and it doesn't deny anybody to speak whatever they feel to. But they are so rare. There are so many occasions where opinions are not the fact, and this if I take it in the context of refugees today, because that's a community that I'm representing, and that's the burning fire in my heart to see some of these stereotypes, some of these attitudes also washed away in the mind of so many people. There has been so much, and what has really caused the refugee to remain in the situation they are today, it is because of a wrong perspective of different sectors that could be of help to the community of refugees. They are assumed that I have had an opportunity of meeting with several CEOs of global companies, when I was working for a certain company in UK. I've had an opportunity to meeting with different presidents, but there is like an assumption that a refugee can't produce, a refugee can't deliver of what they expected. It seems like there is a low IQ level that the people are taken, that the refugees are taken to be having, as to compared to other individuals, and not knowing that a refugee is just an individual that has been forced by a situation, but it isn't. Refugee is not a nature of a person, but it is a circumstances that has forced a person into a different situation. But people are not taking it as it is, but they are taking it a little bit wrong. That maybe a refugee, just like I can remember when we first entered in Nairobi here, when Kenya didn't know anything about somebody being called a refugee. When they heard about refugee, they were like, what type of a person is this? So in so many minds of people, definition of a refugee has not been made very much clear, and this is making us to go back, not having the inclusion that the works is talking about, not being included in the verse that the world is talking about, not being a part of the equity that the world is talking about. So these assumptions, this kind of attitude is exactly what the world has to wash away and have us included in the agenda of the world today.
Thank you so much. For someone who has seen firsthand, because the evidence is there, the pain and perceived suffering of those in refugee camp, what would you say to someone who may wanna touch base with you or have a way to help you in what you are doing to better the lives of those in refugee camp?
Yeah, among, I think my 30 years of experiences has made me to learn a lot, and I'm still in Kakuma refugee camp until today. And out of the experience, and due to the world exposure, we've seen the advancement in education systems. So if there is a way, and this is what exactly I'm crying out to the world today, if we can invest the best education systems in refugees, they will be able to make the changes, they make the permanent changes on their own. And not only education system, because what we've experienced is we are limited in the boundary of the refugee camp or the refugee setup, whereby the world is no longer a single entity somewhere, but the world has brought different locations into one by the means of technology. And not only education can be provided, but also opportunity for decent employment opportunities. This will also bring the changes that we expect in the refugee camps, because we are also like take an example of a Kakuma refugee camp, which has stayed for about 30 years. How many? So we've had a generation that have been born in the camp. We've had a generation that have been brought up in the camp without any financial means for them to define the roadmap for their destiny. And if quality education can also be provided to refugees, connecting them to the colleges outside in Kenya, outside, because what we've realized, like in refugee camps, we've had there is a statistic, we've had about 84% of refugees being enrolled in a primary education. But out of the 84%, only 60% make it to secondary education, and this is because of there's no a clear picture of what out of this education, what is really going to happen. And even the ones that finishes the high school, there is a small percentage that transition from the high school to tertiary education. I will mention like there is a DAFI a scholarship called the DAFI that's provide only 30 students to go for university undergraduate programs. There is, I think recently we heard of a MasterCard Foundation, who is providing a lot less than 20. We also heard of M-Pesa Foundation, which is providing about other 30 students. But looking at the population of a student, more than 2,000 refugees are transitioning from completing their high school. Where are these students going for? What is their future? This is exactly that we are calling the world to see. So at least there should be some opportunities. When a student completes the high school, there is a placement for him to join. There is an opportunity for him to join the college, the college program. And after they complete, like we have even a few that complete the DAFI and whatever, they come back to the camp, and then they are subject to work for a job that pays them 80 USD, 100 USD, which at all cannot make a living, or even give somebody to predict what the future will look like. So opportunity for education should be provided, and also opportunity for work should also provided. Not only they need to go to US to work wherever, but they can still, the technology has made it possible for somebody to work wherever they are. So this is exactly what we are acting, and this is the action for Refugee Life working towards to achieve together with the world outside.
Thank you so much, Kiza. Clearly, you are a reflective and futuristic thinker. And as such, I want to ask you a question that will get us to practical aspects of your vision. When you look down the road, what would you expect to see in your relationship, your community relationship with SDIG, say 6 months from now, 1 year from now, or 5 years from now?
Yeah, they exactly, because the foundation of it all, it is the access to quality education. I'm repeating it several times. And what I'll be pleased with for the community around me is saying first, our education system is a little bit improved, and maybe we might not be having the several ways to make the entire camp education system to improve, but we can still do a part that we can to ensure that a certain number of the students are improving academically. And to do this, we are also calling, like, what exactly we are trying to come up with a tutorial, a tutoring program that will connect the high school student to different tutors to help them have a vision of life, to help them with some subject matters, to help them see the world outside. Because we've had a student in the camp who are born in the camp who don't know what Nairobi looks like, what is Europe look like, what is and what is how is US look like. But in connection with the tutoring team, in connection with the other people outside, the student will be able to visualize what is the world look how does the world look like, and even gives him a chance to see what are the opportunities. Even if I'm in the camp, what are the opportunities that are around me, though if not physical with me, but in a virtual world, I still have the opportunity. So that is one aspect that I'm asking. I want to see the education setup, at least a part of the students that we have in a higher education are improving academically. Second, it is I also want to see we have a skilled workforce prepared in Kakuma refugee camp, either in tech or in college programs. So that is another, and this what will it bring as the outcome is to see that somebody will not desire to be anywhere else, but even if he's still in Kakuma, somebody can still be making will still be generating some money that will help him. Even if he can decide today, I want to leave the camp and live in Nairobi, I want to leave the camp to live in any county in Kenya, he will still be making it because he has been presented numerous opportunities for education as well as for decent job opportunities that will help him to define how he wants the future to look like.
Thank you, Mr. Mauridi, for those excellent reflection and responses. This point, we have to go to see if the audience may have some questions. Mr. Adam, could you check on audience and know whether someone has a question, or maybe more than one may have questions, please?
Thank you very much, Dr. Nwoye. We have a member of the audience with us today, who is actually a member of the SDIG executive team. She is the Chief Growth Officer for SDIG, Miss Patricia Page. So I'll just check with Patricia, because I think she may have a question for Mr. Mauridi.
Patricia, are you there?
Okay, Patricia is not available at her microphone at the moment. Dr. Nwoye, it would be helpful at this point, before you finish, if Mr. Mauridi had the opportunity just to walk us through some of the members of his executive team, both inside and outside the camp, to demonstrate to the world the extraordinary amount of work that he and his team have done to bring international people together. We have examples, excuse me, we have examples of members of that team, and maybe Mr. Mauridi can just give us a very brief summary of how he and his team have been working together, by just giving a quick description of each member of the team very briefly. Would that be possible, Kiza?
Yeah, not possible.
That'd be fantastic. So starting off with yourself, just to find out your role. You've explained very, very well indeed. It'd be helpful if we just very quickly just rush across a few people who are the members of your executive team, starting with I think a young man who I've spent some time with, Mr. Yeredi Ininga. And I just want to get your quick thoughts on the people who are providing that support for you at this time.
Yeah, thank you so much. To bring this vision to the realities, I'm not alone. I have a team, a strong team behind me. And the first is already on the screen. Yeredi Ininga is one of the co-founders along with me. We've started with him this journey, and he's a chief operation officer who undertakes all the operations of our organization so far. He's also a refugee with me in Kakuma. Martha is also a refugee with me in Kakuma, though he has a little bit migrated to Nairobi. Is the head of project management. He oversees any project that we have in Action for Refugee Life.
Excellent.
Yeah, Jesse. Jesse is a student in I think it is in a Cambridge University in UK. She was very much admired by what we are doing and asked to volunteer, because he has been having the passion to work in international in community development. So we granted her a chance to work with us, and then she's our head of partnership. She's in UK.
Good.
Yeah, Philip works for an organization called CSRN. He is the director of partnership in that organization. So we are working with CSRN, in terms of and they're also helping us to connect with a different student group to work on different projects that we are to launch, like partnership opportunities, partnership strategies, like fundraising strategies, like training development, the content. So there are some groups of students that those of Philip identify, and then they are able to help. We also thought it important because Philip has an experience in training development to temporarily head the office of as the head of training department, but later a refugee will take it over to run it, because it has to be a post that has to be physically in the camp.
Excellent. Wow.
Yeah, we also didn't want to be only refugees. We also want to ensure that we have a national with us in the team. So Elijah is a national Kenya. So we thought he is of help to us with his experience, vast experience in auditing and other stuff. So Elijah is also is a part of advisory board member who advise us the best way to take, particularly is more knowledgeable of what the government and the authorities in Kenya might need for our best smooth running of our program. So he advises us according to the policies of Kenya and other concerned authorities. Yeah, Jack Elliott is the CEO of SCSRN. They work together with Philip. So he's also the role is to ensure that he's also helping us taking the very good direction of the vision that we're envisioning for the community of refugees. So he's the head of advisory board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mauridi. I would like to finish your resume of your remarkable team with a 90-second video that is on your website, which is a demonstration of the work that you've already done, and also a demonstration of what you aspire to do as well with the Action for Refugee Life. The video is very short, it's only 90 seconds, and it's entitled The AReL Response to Refugees' Economic Challenges. And that was just a brief explanation from the website and from the YouTube channel. Go to the website at www.refugeelife.org to find out more information about this remarkable organization and how you can help. Handing back to Dr. Nwoye for his final thoughts and final questions for Mr. Kiza Mauridi, CEO of AReL, Action for Refugee Life.
I'm here, Dr. Joseph. I missed when you called my name. I'm sorry, but I could hear you.
That's fine. Well, we are coming to the end, but do you have any question for Kiza Mauridi?
No, I don't have any questions, but I thought it was a very informative presentation. I visited the website. Since I am a long life learner, I love the career counseling and job placement support that they provide, as well as the technical skill training. And I just want to let him know that I am a certified coach, and if I could provide any services, of course, approved by Dr. Joseph, I'm willing to help out, or any materials that I need to send, that I can send.
Well, the thing is that it's time for us to get to work. With Kiza, I can't think of a better place to channel our collective resources, however limited it is, and hopefully with our partners who would be much more, helpful in some of these areas where we can't, but we can push in whatever direction we can, because Kazi's fight is our fight at SDIG, and we will do anything within our reach to support that. And collectively, I feel like we can make some headway. So thank you so much for your comment, Patricia. And Kiza, I think I'm gonna come back to you to ask you if you would have some closing remarks, to make those remarks before we come to close.
Yeah, to me, it's a pleasure to have gotten introduced into this platform and share my thought about the community I'm attached to, and then see in a way how the situation can be improved better than it has been for the last nearly 30 years. So believing that the vision that I have, it will come to a reality together with our partnership with SDIG. We're also fighting for inclusion and diversity, and we also want to be looked into when the world seeing about equity, inclusion, and diversity. I think I'm so much impressed, and I appreciate so much for the platform. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for coming. And for those who are or will be expecting what is coming next time, on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, we're gonna have a well-renowned education specialist, Mary Wakun, who will be appearing on our session tomorrow between 12 noon and 1 o'clock. So I encourage you to attend. She's somebody who she has programs in number of places, including in India, in Nigeria, and in Cleveland, Ohio. She's right now in Colorado, and she will be coming up tomorrow. So if you have any question ever wanted to ask a reading specialist, she is a consummate professional in that area. So I will encourage you to attend tomorrow's meeting and get from her. She will also be working with our tutorial team as we forge and move forward to get into Kazi's team. All right. So in absence of any question from the audience, I think this will be the ending of this session. And Mr. Adam, you can take it from there. And if you can also have Kiza stay back, I need to speak briefly with him before he departs. That is,
All right.
Kiza, if you have time. If you don't have time, then we can do next time, okay?
No, yeah, it's okay. If you can still have, because I'm having another meeting in the next 15 minutes.
Okay, that would be plenty. All right. Thank you very much. Adam, take it over.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nwoye. From SDIG, the Systemic Diversity Inclusion Group headquarters in Maryland and Washington State, from our studios here in London, and from Kakuma Camp in northwestern Kenya. For those of you who will be watching this remarkable explanation and one-to-one from SDIG Live, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We'd like to thank you for watching this video, and would be very happy if you would be willing or able to share the links that you can see in a moment on your screen from Action for Refugee Life at www.refugeelife.org. You can also contact the CEO of Action for Refugee Life, Kiza Mauridi, using the LinkedIn link that you can see on your screen at present. In the meantime, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And as we like to say at SDIG, we're looking to create a common platform and a fairer world to provide diversity and inclusion for all. From Maryland, from London, and from Kakuma in Kenya, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you the next time.